Hi everyone, I'm Kritika Dua and I'm a fourth year law student at Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Patiala, Punjab, India. And I'm so grateful to the entire team of WashU International Vibe Coding Challenge for this exciting opportunity. And my submission for the challenge is DeceptiScan, an India-focused AI-assisted tool for preliminary dark pattern and compliance screening. So dark patterns, as we all know, are interface designs to manipulate or steer consumers while they interact with some digital platforms. And in India, we have guidelines for prevention and regulation of dark patterns 2023 issued by the Central Consumer Protection Authority to deal with these practices. And when applying these guidelines, the reviewer has to locate the relevant evidence, determine whether the operative legal element of a recognized category of dark pattern is reasonably supported, assess the possible impact on consumer autonomy, and then recommend some corrective action. So DeceptiScan basically converts this process into a structured preliminary review workflow. So I'll firstly just briefly take you through the homepage and the front end of the app, and then I'll just demonstrate how this app functions. So I've also included the link to this app in the description section of the video, so please feel free to check it from there. And I've also created some fictional web pages solely for the purpose of testing this app. The links of these also have been attached in the description section of the video, so please feel free to access them from there. So this is how our homepage looks. It has a placeholder where we'll put the link of any particular web page, publicly accessible web page, to scan and get a compliance report. Then we have briefly explained what exactly does this tool do. So it enters, after entering the website URL, it will analyze the visible content based on these 2023 guidelines, and then you will get a compliance report. Then this is our knowledge base. These are some of the categories of dark patterns that have been specifically enlisted under our 2023 guidelines. This is our responsible AI statement, which explicitly mentions that a human review is still recommended after this app completes its preliminary screening. And this is our AI statement, responsible AI and limitation statement, which mentions the scope of the prototype, the limitations of the prototype, risks inherent to it, and ethical and responsible AI safeguards, and the privacy and data handling section. And again, there is a disclaimer at the last that it is an AI assisted prototype based on visible page content. It analyzes and identifies the potential dark patterns, and its findings are for informational and educational purposes only, and it does not constitute legal advice or a final determination of non-compliance. Results have to be reviewed by a qualified legal professional. Now I'll just briefly demonstrate how this app functions. So suppose I take any app, for example the web page of this platform. I'll copy the link, I paste the link over here, and I'm using a fictional web page to reiterate again, and it's created solely for control testing, and it does not represent or accuse any real company. So as soon as I click on the scan website button, it will extract the consumer facing content from it, and it will analyze against the India focused knowledge base, legal knowledge base. And this is how our compliance report looks. So this is the scanned website, this is our timestamp, and this is our finding: 2 potential dark patterns flagged for legal review under the guidelines, human legal review recommended. Then we again have our responsibility and limitation statement here, and this is our report. So this is the first dark pattern that this app has identified: false urgency. Here is the exact evidence mentioned on the basis of which this particular dark pattern has been identified by it. So this must be mentioned somewhere in the homepage of the website that we've used. Yeah, it's over here, right? So it also has the legal explanation for it. The interface explicitly admits that the countdown timer restarts upon refresh, indicating the urgency is artificially manufactured. It also has a potential consumer impact section, pressure consumers into making a hasty purchase decision, And then there is a compliance recommendation section also, which might be very useful for the UX UI designers or the small um, startups or businesses who might not have a lot of consumer law exposure when they sit designing the website. Then this is the exact legal provision on the basis of which this finding has come, and then it addresses the limitation that, of course, since this tech prototype has been currently works on static screening concept, so of course the pros of dynamic screening cannot be accommodated. They might be accommodated in the future versions of this prototype. Now this is another dark pattern that this app has flagged, and it again has the same structure. And this particular dark pattern is mentioned under insufficient evidence section, which means that there might be some surface resemblance for this dark pattern within the web page, but sufficient evidence was not present to categorize it as a potential violation. And then finally we have a downloadable compliance report option also. So this is how a report looks. Sorry, I'll do it again. Yeah, so this is how it looks. The website scanned, the timestamp, the compliance score, the risk level, and again the entire uh, report that we just saw right now. False urgency, the entire explanation. Forced action, the entire explanation. Insufficient evidence, interface interference, the entire explanation. And then it also has a disclaimer at the last which mentions results have to be reviewed by a qualified legal professional. Thank you.